Yo! Fellas, it's good to see you guys today with a live stream. I know it's rare. It's rare that I hop on here, but we actually have something we can talk about today. Yeah, man. Woo! What's up, everybody? Good to see everyone in here. Hose and Sauce, Franco. Who do we got? Keith, Josh, Theo, Psycho. What up? What up? What up, fellas? What up, fellas? We finally got Bitcoin retesting the 50-week moving averages, which we talked about on Friday. On Friday, I think I pointed out that I think Bitcoin's going to make one more low into the 50-week moving averages. And we did just that yesterday. And so far, so good. We got a nice little bounce off the 50 weeks. So let's get it. A lot going on in the crypto world right now. I know a lot of people are upset, and you know, it is what it is. That's crypto for you. But let's talk about a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff to talk about today, guys. A lot of stuff to talk about today. Franco, did you guys miss me or what? Did you guys miss me or what, man? Trust me. At some point, I'm gonna be back to the daily live streams, guys. But right now, just not a fun market to talk about right now, right? So it is what it is. But I'll be here, you know, even on some bad days and some good days. Luckily today we got a nice little bounce. So it is what it is. Hope everyone's good out there. I'm going to South Carolina this weekend before we get started on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Little weekend trip to South Carolina this weekend. So I'm pretty pumped for that. Other than that, just been living life. I've been uploading videos like every couple days, you know, just kind of my thoughts. Other than that, let's talk about Bitcoin. So, you know, I got a lot of things to talk about today, actually. And, you know, we'll talk about some bearish scenarios, some bullish scenarios. We're not going to be all bullish today as much as, you know, we want to be all bullish all the time. You know, I love to be bullish all the time. But, you know, we're going to talk about some bullish stuff, some bearish, some potential bearish stuff. And what we need to see from Bitcoin now, right? Historically, we are back at a point where Bitcoin needs to bounce historically. It's kind of this region right here that Bitcoin needs to get a bounce if we're just looking at previous cycles to say whether this cycle is going to continue and Bitcoin's going to go higher, or we break from this point and, you know, it's kind of over. So, man, pivotal point, man, pivotal point. It's these kind of scenarios which get everyone's emotions. I know Franco was talking about the emotions in the chat. These kind of scenarios which gets everyone's emotions riled. But these are the type of, you know, scenarios where you can actually make the most money off of other people's emotions. So let's talk about where Bitcoin is. So obviously Bitcoin back at the 50-week EMA and 50-week SMA. Okay, we talked about this for about a week, right? And this is typically where Bitcoin does see its bounces, and this is typically where seems like it's over, and it seems like it is never going to come back, and it seems like it can't possibly go up again. We've been here before, guys. If you guys don't remember, right down here, and here in September 2023, right? A lot of people thought the ETF was going to be a failure type thing, right? It wasn't going to get approved. All right. It was kind of the end of the world. What bullish case does crypto have if Bitcoin can't get the ETF? Bitcoin gets the ETF and you pump, right? Right in here at the 50-week SMA and 50-week EMA that marked the low before Bitcoin ended up going on about a 3x run to the upside here. And then obviously right over here in August and September 2024, right? Not too long ago. That was like, what, 6 months ago? Right in here, we actually back tested it twice. Okay, came into it once. That was during the German selling, I think. And then right here, we had another one. I think there was some war going on or some shit. Another freaking war or some shit going on right here. We back tested that twice. It seemed like it was the end of the world. The world was falling there. Also, we bounced and Bitcoin went on to, I think, do about a little bit over a 2x, like a 2.2x or some shit like that from this point on. So here we are again, back at the 50-week. What is the bearish narrative now? It's the tariffs. The tariffs are going to destroy the world. There's no more bullish, cases for crypto. That's kind of where we're at, right? There's no more bullish possible things that could happen for crypto, right? All the bullish scenarios have been pumped, okay? All the bullish shit happened up here, right? So now everyone's thinking nothing bullish can happen again, right? And we got all this tariff shit coming in, and Bitcoin comes back to the 50-week, okay? So here we are again. And I made a video about this, just like literally just this yesterday. Like literally just this about previous cycles and how the 50-week moving averages, if you get a weekly close below that is marked, like literally you're going into a bear market 100% of the time when you get a weekly close below the 50-week, right? We did it right here in 2022, close below the 50 weeks. That was kind of sayonara suckers. You want to get the frick out of the market, right? We did it over here in 2017, weekly close below right there, right? If you weren't already out, right? You read it up here, you weren't already out, you wanted to get the frick out of the market or you were going to get pwned, right? And then obviously over here in 2014, right there, right? If you weren't already out, you wanted to get the frick out of the market right there on the first weekly close below, okay? And we never had a time where we broke below and got back above. Not in one cycle, okay? We can even go back to this cycle. It's the same shit. Same shit, different day, right here, 2011. I'm not going to go show you guys all of them, but that's why this region right here is very, very critical for us. If we're just going based off of previous things, and even this bull market where we've held it twice, we're back down to that region. So I remain a bull as long as we stay above there. I remain a bull. I'm hard as a rock right now above this point. And I remain optimistic that we're going to get a bounce out of here. But if we do get a weekly close below, I have to change a little bit of my bias here. If we do get some type of weekly close below the 50-week moving averages, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. Does Bitcoin hold here? Does it not hold here? And, it is what it is. We'll see if Bitcoin can hold there. But that's kind of a main point that I'm watching to see if, you can continue to see Bitcoin get out of there, bounce again like it did in 2023, 2024, and here we are again in 2025. Doesn't mean we have to do it right away. We could just freaking shop above here for a few weeks. That's fine. But we finally did reach that point. The one thing that makes me optimistic that we're going to bounce, obviously it's not guaranteed that we do bounce here. Like I said, if we do break below, that's not a good sign. One thing that makes me very optimistic that we're going to hold here, but we could chop for a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if we chop sideways for 2-3 weeks. I know that sounds miserable. You guys are like, 2 or 3 weeks, bro. I'm going to slit my throat if we go sideways for another 2 or 3 weeks. Why do I say that? Well, this is global liquidity, guys. All right. And I know no one wants to hear this right now either. It's the end of the world. Like the world's ending right now and tariffs are going to be here forever. This is global liquidity. Okay. And I made this point a million times. Bitcoin eventually follows global liquidity, but it's actually lagged by, 40 to 70 days. Bitcoin lags behind global liquidity. You guys can see global liquidity is absolutely mooning right now. We're about to actually make a new high on global liquidity while Bitcoin's at a low. Okay, why is Bitcoin at a low? Well, because global liquidity was at a low 70 days ago, right? Global liquidity hit a low 70 days ago. But if you actually look, global liquidity hit a top right here 70 days before Bitcoin hit a top. Global liquidity hit a low 70 days before Bitcoin hit a low. Global liquidity hit a top 70 days before Bitcoin hit a top. Global liquidity hit a low 70 days before Bitcoin hit a low, right? We can kind of go back through this a million times. Bitcoin, global liquidity top, Bitcoin, global liquidity top, right? Global liquidity low, Bitcoin low, right? We can go through this a million freaking ways. You want to look at it. They all freaking match up. So unless you think this time's different, okay? Bear market for global liquidity bottoms, Bitcoin bottoms. So if you want to go back in time, we've been looking at this for months. Here we are, right? I think we could probably go sideways for a few weeks, right? If we're just looking at this, we probably can go sideways for a few weeks. You guys are going to look at me like, dude, we better not go sideways for a few freaking weeks. I'm going to kill myself. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. Crypto's not that serious, guys. Just get off the stool, bro. Get off the stool. It's not that serious, man. There's more to life than this shit. All right. But we did it at the top there. Global liquidity technically started mooning. If we're going 70 days out, that would put us at like the end of March, right? In like March, March 26th, 27th, 28th, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of see Bitcoin chop sideways for another 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm just laughing because I know when I say that, people are like, bro, no, bro. But I do expect, I think it's just kind of funny that Bitcoin comes into the 50-week moving average right in here as global liquidity starts mooning, and we expect this to start following global liquidity at the end of March. I just think it's kind of funny how that lines up. So that's why I'm expecting Bitcoin to bounce here. Unless you think it's going to do something different than this. I don't. I think we are going to bounce out of here, despite it taking, a little bit of time, right? It's taking a little bit of time. I mean, it is what it is. Now, what does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? All right. Now, obviously like I said earlier, if we break below the 50-week moving averages, I think that's a little bit of caution and that's a little bit of us doing something different. So just keep an eye on this. But as long as we hold this for another 2 or 3 weeks, above, really above the previous all-time high, which is like 73K. As long as we hold above 73K for like 2 to 3 more weeks, I think we're off to the races, and we're gonna follow this again, just like we always have. Fuck, man, what was I gonna say? Sorry, excuse my language, guys. By the way, shout out to everyone in the chat. Oh, we're blurry. Hold on. Look at my hand, man. Oh yeah, there we go. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Tom said, but my eggs, bro, egg prices ain't coming down. I went to the store yesterday, dude, $12 for eggs. We were gonna cook something that required eggs, so I had to get the $12 eggs. I was pissed, man. I was literally jacked up and pissed. It's ridiculous, the egg prices. Hopefully chicken doesn't go up because chickens, I literally have been avoiding buying eggs and just eating a lot of chicken instead of eggs lately because so I'm really hoping the price of chicken doesn't go up. And if it does, bro, I'm going completely carnivore and just eating meat, dude. Anyways, let's get rid of all this shit. All right, we'll come back to this. I just kind of want to point this out too. Back at extreme fear on the fear and greed. The fear and greed is like, you can stay in extreme fear for a little bit, right? You can stay in it for like a month or two. We have in the past. We've actually stayed in this for like a few months. So just because we're in extreme fear doesn't mean we have to bounce out right away. So just to manage expectation, guys, that this could take a little bit. This could take another 2 to 3 weeks of chop. Maybe even Bitcoin swipes the low again. Just don't be surprised if we don't move up for another 2 to 3 weeks if we're going to move up, okay? We might have to let this fear kind of settle in. You know, people slowly start to time capitulate in here before we see any type of reversal, all right? But historically, buying extreme fear has been a winning strategy, okay? And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it, right? No one's telling you to go do anything. But historically, buying extreme fear has been the winning strategy, right? It's literally been the winning strategy. And selling extreme greed, or at least taking profits, shout out to Franco, at extreme fear, or sorry, extreme greed, when everyone's calling super cycle and we're in extreme greed, that's the best time to be taking a little bit out of the market, okay? So now we're in extreme fear. Now this is when everyone wants to sell, okay? What happens in 1 to 2 months if we come right back up and we're at extreme greed? Then everyone's going to say, you're dumb for taking profits and you're dumb for selling, right? It's kind of like the same thing over and over again. Right now, you're dumb for buying, and then you're dumb for taking profits up here, right? It's kind of the same thing over and over again. It just constantly repeat and constantly do the same thing. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I kind of, a couple cool things I want to point out. First of all, Ethereum, man, I can't bring myself to buy ETH yet, guys. I can't bring myself to buy ETH yet. And I talked about this in the video I made yesterday. I can't bring myself to buy it yet. All right. And the reason why I can't bring myself to buy it yet, first of all, is I just kind of look at this and I look at all ETH's major runs in the past. And I guess it doesn't have to be like this, but I just kind of go back and look at all ETH's major runs. Which actually this is not the chart that I had. Hold on. This is not the chart that I had yesterday. Maybe it is. I don't know. What I kind of would want to see for ETH, and I guess it doesn't have to, but what I want to see for ETH is coming into oversold on the weekly RSI. The 2 times that the RSI has come into oversold in the weekly was the Pico bottom for ETH in the cycle, right? So 2018, weekly RSI was oversold for like 2 weeks. That was literally buying the Pico bottom. 2022, weekly RSI was oversold for, I think, 3 weeks. That was the Pico low on Ethereum in 2022. What I kind of want to see, and I guess it wouldn't be impossible to say, right? You think that, okay, just because Bitcoin goes sideways for a few weeks doesn't mean ETH can't go lower, bro. Right? I kind of want to see. I kind of think there's going to be some confluence here on ETH. I think ETH is going to go a little bit lower, right? I think there's a possibility that Bitcoin bottom could be in, but ETH could still go lower. I kind of would want to see, and I think this would be like the ultimate opportunity if we get it, is we get this weekly RSI oversold on ETH. It's almost there, actually. If you kind of look, you're not that far away. You get one more bad week, bro, you're going in there. You're going straight in that mother effer. Right in that oversold territory if you get one more bad week for ETH. It wouldn't even take a lot. What I actually would love to see is a move into test this 2018 top right there. Right into like 1,500, dude. You get a move into like 1,500, back test that 2018 top, and actually this little support here from 2023, and you get that weekly RSI oversold again. That I think would be like an excellent opportunity for ETH. But I'm going to be patient. I may get front run, whatever. I may get front run on this. And if I do, it is what it is. But I'm going to be patient and see if I can get that level on ETH. I think that would be a good level for ETH if I wanted to scoop some up. And that would just be ultimate capitulation, dude. I mean, that point, you'd be looking at, 63% drawdown in like a couple months. You know what I mean? Like, that would be ultimate capitulation. Weekly RSI oversold, right? Same as 2022, same as 2018. Like, that would be a good opportunity, but it is what it is. I don't know if you guys saw the news. Fidelity, the first, I think it's the first. Well, the first major one. Grayscale might have done it, but who gives a shit about Grayscale nowadays? Fidelity filed for the Ethereum staking on their ETF. Well, the staking on their Ethereum ETF. So I think that could be a catalyst, man, but it hasn't happened yet. But we actually did get Fidelity today file for the Ethereum staking on the ETF. So if that gets approved, I think that could be some type of catalyst, especially if global liquidity, once we get to that global liquidity point where we should start moving up with it, we get some positive momentum in the market. I think that could be a good catalyst for ETH. But we don't have it yet, which means that maybe we could go slightly lower on ETH. If we don't, we don't. It is what it is. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin chop and maybe ETH continue to bleed out a little bit. Which it's not that far away, dude. It really ain't that far away, man. It really ain't, dude. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see ETH go a little bit lower. I like this level. And I think that would just be major fear on the market. You get this right in here. Right in here. You get it right in there again. Right in this zone. RSI. I think that would be a great point. But we're not there yet. I'm going to be patient. Patience is the virtue, I think, right now. At least for another 2 to 3 weeks. If ETH is kind of just hanging up here for another 2 to 3 weeks, it's a possibility it doesn't go here. But let's see. I'm going to give it like another 2 to 3 weeks to see if we can get there. I know that seems like a long time, but it's really not a long time in crypto. 2 to 3 weeks goes by like this. So I'm going to give it another 2 to 3 weeks and see where we're at for ETH. I had this chart, dude. Right? Let me just get rid of this. I was kind of looking at this today, man, and I was kind of playing around with some charts today. I was a little bit bored at one point today, right? Which I guess is not too hard to be right now when it comes to the crypto space. If you're kind of oblivious to the red, like myself, it's not too hard to get bored in the crypto space. But I was kind of playing around with this total market cap chart, which I think is kind of interesting, actually. And I kind of noticed this like weird little trend line. It's kind of the same as Bitcoin. I don't know if this is going to have any type of significance. It may have zero significance. Just going to put that out there. It literally may have zero significance. But I was kind of looking at this and I was like, why do I see like a rising wedge on total market cap? I don't know. Or the start of some type of rising wedge on total market cap. I don't freaking know. But I kind of like looked at this and I was like, look at the COVID low, right? And you kind of draw up. It's kind of the same as this Bitcoin trend line. Do I have the Bitcoin trend line? This Bitcoin trend line right here. That all the like this low had 2 taps. Now we got a tap. Look, just zoom in this Bitcoin, right? Look at the tap of the trend line again and the reversal out of that trend line, right? So it worked again. I kind of looking at this, dude. Excuse me. Got another tap here, right? 2 taps. And what I think is interesting about this level, actually, and why it wouldn't be like too far-fetched to bounce from here, is this is the 2021 top. This is also the 2024 tops. All right, all these tops, actually. This top. Could we flip that into support now? And also be at this trend line, right? So you have the trend line and you have 2021, 2024, 2024 tops coming in right there. It's kind of like Bitcoin, man. It's kind of like Bitcoin. Like, this is such a critical point in the market, man. Like, Bitcoin's back at the 50-week. Bitcoin's back at its trend line. And you got total market cap also back at the trend line, man. So literally a point where a lot of money could be made and a lot of money could be lost at this particular moment. I know it felt like the end of the world here. It felt like the end of the world here. For a lot of you guys, it might feel like the end of the world again here. But that point where a lot of times where it feels like the end of the world can be the best opportunities in the market, right? So here we are again right here. I was kind of looking at this and I was like, am I freaking baked Am I baked out of my mind? Which I'm not. I promise you guys, I'm not baked out of my mind. All right. I promise you 130,000% that I'm not baked. All right. I literally did nothing today. All right. Am I baked out of my mind to think that it is completely impossible to see us come back up to the top of this wedge again? Right? And for this to just be a giant rising wedge, which we actually know is a bearish pattern, by the way. Maybe it doesn't even get back to the top of this. Could just get like, almost to the top of this. Am I baked out of my mind to think that we could do something like this? Am I baked? Am I completely baked? Right? We're exactly where you wouldn't think that was possible, right? Just because we've been beaten up for the last couple months, really. Am I baked? Right? Am I baked? Am I an idiot because all this tariff shit that's going on, right? Quantitative tightening still going on. How could this happen, right? We still have QT. We have all this tariff stuff. All the bullish narratives for crypto happened. How the fuck, excuse my language, could that happen? Right? How could that happen right now? It's impossible, man. And I kind of sit there and, you kind of ponder and you kind of go, yeah, maybe it is, or maybe it's not. But yeah, I know it's something I'm watching. I don't think this is like a guarantee or anything, dude. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's 100% certain that we see this, right? That's not the case, dude. We could easily just do this. You know what I mean? Like, that easily could happen too. But something that we're going to keep an eye on for the next few weeks, guys, is if we continue to hold in here for total market cap, is it completely impossible? I mean, we hit 4 trillion here. Would it be crazy to think we can go to like 5, 6, 7 trillion? It's not that crazy, man. It's really not that much, considering where we already went to. So just something I'm going to keep an eye on, something that we'll watch over the next few weeks. But obviously, if this is going to have to hold, we're going to need Bitcoin to hold the line over here, guys. Right? Bitcoin's got to hold the line if total market cap's going to hold the line. I'm going to say this again. This is not all bullish, man. This is not all bullish yet. If Bitcoin breaks below the 50 weeks and closes below, I'm going to have to switch into a bearer. And I don't want to be a bearer, man. But I'm just going to be strictly on the charts saying, okay, every time we broke in the 50 week, you've been better off a bearer, right? So got to keep an eye on this. But my assumption is we are going to hold the line in here. All right. And my assumption also is that total market cap is going to hold the line in here. And we're going to follow global liquidity within the next few weeks. Probably doesn't happen right away. We probably have a few more weeks of chop or even a little bit of bleed for altcoins. Some altcoins probably already bottomed. Some probably haven't. But, I think, another few weeks of nothingness in here probably makes sense. And then we go on to follow global liquidity, which we've done this whole cycle. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process right now, guys, in a nutshell. Hold the line for BTC, hold the line for total market cap. And if we can do that for another 2 to 3 weeks, right? If we can survive the bearish narratives out there for another 2 to 3 weeks, at least try our best to survive, I think good things are going to happen. But we gotta hold the line for another 2 to 3 weeks, or at least weather the storm for another 2 to 3 weeks, is my guess. So, yep, that's that, guys. Anyways, we'll go back to BTC. I'm gonna hop in the chat. We can look at some altcoins. It's still like, I still think it's the same altcoins that look better than other ones. I mean, obviously, most altcoins have come down a little bit, but I still think it's the case that some altcoins look better than others, right? Obviously, most altcoins have come down. I'm not really looking to add into my altcoin bags. I'm kind of happy with my altcoin bags. unless we see some type of crazy capitulation on alts, like the only way I'm looking to buy more alts is if Bitcoin actually holds in here for another 2-3 weeks, but alts actually go lower. If that's the case, I'm actually probably going to end up buying some more. Like I love to buy Chainlink back at like, back in this region, $8 to $10 Chainlink. I'd love to add again, if I can get that again. Let's see what else. XRP. I don't really want to add XRP up here, to be quite honest. I really, really don't. CRV. If this, for whatever reason, bleeds out for another few weeks and Bitcoin stays above the 50 weeks, I might add some CRV, but I kind of want to see what happens for the next few weeks. I'm kind of happy with where I'm at. So other than that, really not too much to add. I think some alts look better than others. Utility altcoins still look much better than the rest of the market. And I still think when this market finally does turn, which I do believe it will, this might take a little bit more time. Though it's obvious what coins you want to be in my personal opinion, right? It is obvious. To me, it's obvious which coins are freaking strong as hell. It's obvious, bro. And if you guys don't see it, of which coins are the strongest coins, XRP. I mean, you might not even want to admit it's these coins, but it's these coins, man. Where if the market's going to turn around, these coins are going to absolutely explode, right? XRP, Cardano, Chainlink, right? The coins that are not like literally did not get absolutely pummeled to the bear market lows, which is not that many, to be quite honest. HBAR. I mean, you could go down the list. It's not that many. It really isn't, dude. But I think it's going to be utility coins. I don't, just my personal opinion, I don't think it's going to be memes. I think the meme coin thing is done. I think Trump killed the meme coins. And I think it's going to be utility coins that run hard when this market turns around, not memes. You can do whatever the frick you want to do, but that's still my thought process. And my altcoins that I do hold right now are all utility coins. You guys know the list, right? Link, XRP, HBAR, Crow, CRV. It's all utility coins. And I do want to buy some ETH if we get down to 1,500. But we haven't done it yet. So screw me. Screw me. I actually thought we were going to do it the other day. I thought this was just going to nuke down here, but it didn't. It didn't nuke down there. Doesn't mean it won't. But I would love to buy some ETH down here if I can swell on get it. But hasn't done it yet. Anyways, that's really that. Oh, shit. HBAR. You like sweet? Algo? Yeah, Algo's not a bad one. All the ones that pumped in November, I think are going to be the best ones. All right, the ones that are made in America. Basically the ones that ran hard in November and December last year. I think those would be the best plays once the market turns around. I don't think it's going to happen right now, guys. I still think you should be mentally prepared for another couple weeks of not the best price action. I would just be prepared for another couple weeks of like kind of nasty price action, whether that means a little bit lower for alts or sideways. I don't think we're going to moon out of here. Just my personal opinion, because I don't want to sit here and get your hopes up like, oh my God, this market's going to freaking moon right now. I don't think that's the case. I think if it's going to do it, it's probably going to take a little bit of time. Because, once again, I just kind of bring this up again. Every major run for Bitcoin, just look at it. Global liquidity bottoms 70 days before Bitcoin. Bitcoin just follows it, dude. Now, right here was the one exception. We had the ETF, right? And you can even argue that this was the low. We pumped, Bitcoin pumped. It was kind of the same thing. You had the ETF, right? Then you had a correction. Global liquidity bottoms 70 days before Bitcoin, boom, you pump. Global liquidity bottoms 70 days before Bitcoin, you pump. Global liquidity bottoms, I'm going to guess 70 days before Bitcoin. And look at the last 70 days for global liquidity. You've mooned for the last 70 days. So I'm going to guess by the time you get to the end of March, we're just going to follow this again. But you could just kind of have some nasty price action for another few weeks. And that would be fine. That would be fine. As long as that nasty price action stays above the 50-week moving averages on closes. It's all good. You can even get wicks below. You got wicks below here. It's all good, but you get closes below here. I think that narrative is kind of like, But right now we're good. We're above. Closes below, have to reassess. You just have to reassess. You can't be a biased bull. As much as I love to be a biased bull. We close below here, I got to reassess, man. You got to reassess that shit. But for now, we're still above there. Just like you kind of go back to this period. I kind of like to do this sometimes, right? Did the market feel good right here, man? Hold on. Let me do one. Let me do 1 day. Did the market feel good here? Was this a good look? The market looked like ass. Right? If you kind of go back to this time period, does this look good? Right? You broke above the previous all-time high into the 50s, and it felt like it was the end of the world, right? And then obviously you get the boom out of there, right? Off the 50 week, right? And I kind of like to do this sometimes because it kind of always feels like shit when you're in that time period, right? We can even go back to here. Let's take this off. Replay. Just go back to like right here. This feel good over here, dude. You had the fake ETF pump and then you just got absolutely slammed back down. This feel good right here. It didn't really. I mean, you remember that time. And then obviously you kind of dipped it below and then you got that little candle. All right, and then you kind of worked your way back up from there. Shit, hold on. Let me get rid of this. So now we're here again, back at the 50 weeks. Doesn't mean we're instantly going to pump, right? We had a couple weeks of sideways here. So it wouldn't surprise me if we kind of shop in here for a couple weeks, right? Go back over here. We kind of already chopped in here for a few weeks. We've been chopping in here for about 3 weeks now. Shit. But would it surprise you if you kind of just chopped in here for another couple weeks before following this up? Probably not. Probably not. So just don't be shocked, man. Just get those pillows and shit ready to be sleeping and whatnot. But yeah, that's that. Let's see. It's going to be a quick short chop. I would be prepared for it to chop longer than you want. What I've noticed about this bull market is we tend to chop longer than everyone wants it to. That's what I've noticed about this bull. Previous bull markets, bro, the pullbacks were quick, short, volatile, right? Boom, 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 boom. Couple weeks and you were back up. Boom, 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 boom. This bull, man, they get you with these long, drawn out sideways periods, man. They really get you with these pumps and sideways death. What I've noticed, this bull, they love the time capitulation. It's not even the price. It's the time capitulation that gets you, man. It really is. So I would just be mentally prepared in here. You know, not that it's 100% certain. It always goes sideways longer than you want it to. All right. Here from top to until you broke out that top was 28 weeks. Here, 34 weeks. If we just take the top for where we are now, we are only 13 weeks, bro. It could take till like June, and maybe it doesn't, but it could take until June until Bitcoin's back above the highs, if it's going to do it again. It could be June, dude. I don't think it's going to take that long this time, just because in bulls, you tend to speed up, right? You know, if this is actually truly a bull market, you tend to get more parabolic on the way up. So I don't think it'll take that long, but it could take until June, until Bitcoin's in new highs. It could. And I'd just be mentally prepared for that. It's possible. I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I also don't think that's impossible. I would just be mentally prepared for that, because that's what we've seen here and here. I would just be mentally prepared. That's all. And if it goes up quicker, fine, great. If it breaks below the 50s and we all die, great, fine. We could say it's over, but I wouldn't be shocked if it keeps you in suspense for a little bit in here, right? At least for like 2-3 weeks, if not longer. Right in here, dude. Right in this little zone. What about sell in May and go away? That's a good point, Hoffs. It's a great point, dude. That's why what I'm really hoping for, Hoffs, what I'm really hoping for, but unfortunately I don't get what I hope for. You never get what you hope for. What I'm hoping for is this plays out, which I do think it will. And if we just go on time, I'm hoping we pump end of March, April, into May. And I think this is going to give us a clue on when Bitcoin's going to top, right? Because look at this, dude, you guys might make fun of this, man. You might make fun of this chart, but look at the Bitcoin tops and the global liquidity tops, 75 days apart, right? So if you guys don't know what this means, this is offset by 75 days, right? This global liquidity chart, 75 days. Look at the global liquidity top. Look at the Bitcoin top. Look at the global liquidity top. Look at the Bitcoin top. I think we're going to be able to use this, right? As this is moving up, if you believe this is going to play out, whenever this tops over here, right? So say this kind of continues up and it tops like right here. I think we're going to be able to use this as a time of when Bitcoin will, around the time Bitcoin will top. Around the time, but it's not going to be exact, even though it was exact here and it was exact here. Right? Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. I think we're going to be able to use this to say around the time, like whenever this tops 70 days ahead of Bitcoin, say if it tops like in the end of May, right? Say it does this. Then why can't Bitcoin 70 days later do this? Right? I think we might be able to use that, dude. We might be able to use that. Not guarantee, but you know, that's actually something I'm going to watch. So I'm hoping that this just continues up. It tops somewhere in May, and then you get the sell in May and go away shit. Bitcoin follows this up into May, sell in May and go away shit. That's what I'm hoping for. But you don't always get what you want. It's not always that easy. You know, crypto, as soon as you think you got it figured out, it ain't gonna work. You guys know that, right? But, you know, something to keep an eye on, I think. Oh, shit, man. There we go. Fuck, man. Let's see. Why do these cycles work? I don't really, how do they work? I don't know, dude. I don't know how the cycles work. I just think it's going to be hilarious. I really think it's going to be hilarious. It'll be hilarious if this 4-year cycle doesn't work again. Like, say if this year is just all bearish. That would probably, it wouldn't be hilarious. Like, that would kind of suck. But I also think it would be hilarious if Bitcoin just tops at the end of this year like it always does. Right? And all this hoopla, joopla of like everything that we talked about since the FTX lows to the top, literally all that shit didn't matter. All you had to do was follow the 4-year cycle. That's all you had to do the whole time. All this talk for 4 years of pointless shit, or I guess it's just to say 3 years, would be completely pointless if Bitcoin just tops in Q4 of this year again. Same as it always does. Wouldn't that just be funny? I think it would be funny. Like literally everything else you could talk about for 3 years would be completely pointless. I think it would be funny. Will it play out again? I don't know. I really don't know. I plan on, like I told you, if we do get this pump right here, guys, if we start to pump at the end of March, my guess is we start to pump at the end of March. If we start to pump at the end of March, I told you guys, and Bitcoin's in all-time highs by May. I know that sounds like freaking stupid right now. Like you're like, no way Bitcoin's going to be in all-time highs by May. There's zero chance of that. I'm just saying if it is, I told you guys, I'm plan on selling like 80% of my crypto if that's the case. Literally 80% of my crypto if Bitcoin's an all-time high by May. And I know that sounds freaking stupid right now. And you're looking at me with 10 heads being like, there's no way Bitcoin's going to be at all-time highs by May. There's no way. Look what's going on. Tariffs, QT, PALs being hawkish. There's zero chance Bitcoin could be an all-time highs by May. I'm telling you, if it is, I'm selling 80% of my crypto. While the rest of the world thinks we're going into a super cycle, I'm going to sell 80% of my crypto up there, if that's the case. And everyone else will be calling super cycle, and it'll be literally super cycle 8.0 if that is the case. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You think alts will not outperform BTC tops? What? I don't know. I said this, man. I don't think all alts are going to pump. I don't think there's going to be this altcoin season where literally every single thing pumps. I don't think there is. I think you have to. You guys remember the slideshow I made in early last year? Remember my back to the roots slideshow? You guys remember that shit? A lot of you guys hated that. But I said, if you're going to buy altcoins, you better bet that you're good at picking alts. You've got to be good at picking the alts. Most people aren't good at picking alts. Shit. A lot of times, I'm not good at picking alts. I picked some good alts this cycle, earlier this cycle. But I'm not 100% accurate at picking the correct altcoins. And I know that. That's why Bitcoin's my biggest holding. Because I know I'm not like this go altcoin picker. Most people aren't. 99% of people aren't go altcoin pickers. My guess is that utility coins, if Bitcoin will do this, utility coins will pump with Bitcoin. XRP, Cardano, Chainlink, CRV, HBAR, XLM, Algo, all the coins that pumped in November, December. I think those are just going to get a second leg up. But I could be wrong about that. And shit, maybe memes freaking pump. And if you're buying the memes, you go to the moon, man. I don't know. I could be wrong. But if you're gonna buy alts, you better be good at picking the altcoins now, because I don't think all the alts will pump. I really don't. I could be wrong about that too. I just don't think there's enough money that can come into this market to pump every altcoin to the moon. I just don't think there is. You even might look at this chart and say this is impossible, which maybe it is. Maybe it's not. We'll see. It's really not, man. It's because it's on log scale that this looks ridiculous. I mean, we hit, on total market cap, we hit almost 4 trillion in December, right? Now we're back down to 2.5 trillion. Right? We're almost back down to 2.5 trillion, dude. Say if Bitcoin goes to the top of this wedge, not Bitcoin, total market cap, which it does kind of sound freaking ridiculous. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say like it doesn't sound ridiculous. 11 trillion on total. That's only like, that's not even a 3x of where we were before, right? That's, even if we don't go that high, like I said, we don't have to go to the top. Maybe we go to 10 trillion, 9 trillion, right? A 2x from where we were at the top of this. It's like only a 2x. My guess is if we're gonna see another leg up on total market cap, Bitcoin leads the show first, and altcoins have the finale. So if you think there's gonna be an altcoin season, you're betting on this. This is what you're betting on, and what you're betting on is this move up here. Is altcoins getting that move up, because Bitcoin could just pump to freaking 150K and total market cap would be here, which would leave no room for alts to pump. So what you're betting on, if you think there's going to be an altcoin season, is what you're betting on is this move will be altcoins, right? Like you'll get like a 2 to 3x on the altcoin market cap. That's what you're hoping for. But it is what it is. We'll see. This is not my base case, by the way. I just think that this would be kind of funny if something like this played out. It would just be funny to me. It's just something that we're going to watch. If this is just all one giant rising wedge, and this year has some insane rally, some stupid tech bubble type rally, for whatever reason, and that's like the top of crypto for a long time. Like that would just be insane into like some crazy freaking thing. We'll see what happens, man. But let's focus on right now, man. And Bitcoin's holding the 50 week. We got some good levels, and I think we're in a good spot, man. Despite the fact that many people will say it's over and it's time to be bearish, bro. I don't think it's time to be bearish, man. I think it's actually time to be more bullish than bearish. If you're going to be bearish, it would be up here, right? TPing up here a little bit. You come back down. I think this is the time you want to be more bullish than bearish. Obviously, if you break below here, it's different. But as long as you're above here, I think it's more time to be bullish than bearish, man. Just my personal opinion. All right, hold on. Let me see what you guys said in here. Here's $5. Go get baked. Shout out to Mr. Darp. I got to go to the gym, man. I can't get baked right now. And I got vacation coming up. I got to pack. Oh, I hate packing, man. You guys hate packing? I literally hate packing right now. I hate freaking packing. I got to go to the gym. I got to come back. I got to pack. Ugh. Tomorrow I got to do laundry. It's such a dweeb, man. It's like not even hard things. Felipe, thank you, dude. He said, will the pi cycle top be defeated after all these years, or will it be the exact same? That's the other thing, dude. That's the other thing, man, is like these times right here, they make you feel like something different's going to happen, man. Right? And if you kind of just look at Bitcoin, like it's not really doing anything different, bro. I mean, it's in an uptrend. It is in a bull market uptrend. Right? So these are the times that make you feel something different's going to happen just because we're red. And, it makes you doubt that the pi cycle top will work again. Right? Maybe it doesn't work this time. Definitely could be the case that the pi cycle top doesn't work this time. But I will say, if you're a believer in the pi cycle top, right? Let me know in the chat, guys. Do you think the pi cycle top will work again this cycle, or you think that this will be the cycle where the pi cycle top gets defeated? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, okay? I will tell you this. If you believe the pi cycle top will work again, you have to think Bitcoin gets above this green moving average, which means it has to go at least above 150K. If not, much, much higher. Like it has to go much, much higher, dude. I'm talking like, if you think the pi cycle top's going to work again, you got to be thinking it's going to the top of this trend line, right? Where you had this, and you got to think Bitcoin's like going up here, man. I'm talking like 250, 300K. If you think the pi cycle top's going to cross again, because it ain't going to cross unless Bitcoin's above this, right? Just based on math. Like you got to think Bitcoin's going up here, dude. And you know, that's up for debate. Crypto always does something you don't think is going to happen. Always. Always does. But yeah, you got to be thinking some crazy freaking move if you think pi cycle top's going to work. Which maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? I don't know. Pi cycle will work. It'll work. It might. I haven't given up on it, man. I haven't given up on it. The only way I give up on the pi cycle top is if we get weekly closes below the 50-week moving averages. That's the only way I'm going to give up on the pi cycle top. And I could be a fool. It could break below this and break back above. Right? I mean, the crypto will do that. Bitcoin could just do this. Yeah, I'm going to get a weekly close below here and then just come back up and get back above and moon. Right? I mean, crypto does shit like that all the time. But that's just the way I'm looking at it. It's still the undefeated top metric, right? It's still the undefeated top metric. Will it be different this time? Maybe. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Time will certainly tell. Yo, shout out to Westside Polly. Westside Polly came in hot. What's up, man? Bull market support band, maybe. Yeah, the bull market support band hasn't really worked in this cycle, to be quite honest. It's been useless. It was so good in previous cycles, but if you just bring up the bull market support band, it has been completely useless in this cycle. Like, it is useless to use. It just breaks below, gets back above, right? Breaks below, breaks below. Previous cycles, dude, it was so clean, and this cycle, it just goes back below. This cycle, I told you, this cycle, it's not about the 20-week moving averages. It's like the consolidations are so much longer that the bull market support band doesn't work anymore. Now it's about the 50-week band, right? Not the 20-week band. The 50-week band holds, right? The 50-week band holds. The 50-week band holds. So now we're back at the 50-week band. I think this is the new bull market support band. Not the 20 weeks, the 50 weeks. Just because Bitcoin's so much bigger now, it needs more time to consolidate. I think this is the new bull market support band. The 50 week, not the 20 week. Oh, shit. Just fucking nailed my hand on the wall. BTC to the 4236. Yo, Jordan, we eating ramen for 3 years again? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I actually think, despite what everyone feeling right now, I think Bitcoin will be a new all-time highs by May. Not right this second. I think we could go sideways for another 2 to 3 weeks. And you might be calling me crazy to think that Bitcoin can go sideways for another 2 to 3 weeks and still be a new all-time highs by May. Just following this chart, dude. Chop sideways for a little bit longer. And then I think April and May are going to be really, really good. And I'm hoping that this tops somewhere in here and we do the typical like sell at the end of May and walk away. It's kind of what I'm going for here. But yeah, I think Bitcoin will be in new all-time highs by May. It's not gonna pump right now though. I don't think it's gonna pump right now. We got to build a base here. Build a little bit of a base. Let that extreme fear soak in, right? Let everyone soak in that extreme fear for a little bit longer. And then I think we're going to come out of here. It's probably going to be right around. Is it a coincidence that this is right around Trump said the tariffs are going to start at the beginning of April? That's what he said. Is it a coincidence that global liquidity moves up right in here? Right when Trump is supposed to start the tariffs? I don't think so, man. I don't think that's a quinky dink. I don't think that's a quinky dink. Will Trump drop the tariffs here? Would make sense, man. Markets like certainty, dude. Or even he keeps them. Markets just like certainty. Whether he keeps them or he doesn't. I don't think that's too much of a quinky dink. Bearish on ramen. I actually don't really like ramen, dude. If I'm gonna go super cheap meal, I'm gonna be eating probably just, dude, I'm gonna be honest, I'll probably be eating straight ground beef. And I like doing that. That's not that like cheap. Dude, you can get a pound of ground beef for $5. Literally $5. And just eat that for the day. I'm serious. You get a bunch of protein. It's way better for you. And it's $5. I'm dead ass. Just eat a pound of ground beef, bro. Yeah, ramen is a very high in salt, and that's sodium. Pretty sure ramen's like $2 now too. It used to be $1, now it's like $2. Ground beef and bread. Dude, ground beef is literally the pico food. BTC is holding very well compared to the S&P 500. Yeah. I mean, dude, equities have gotten killed. The NASDAQ's down like 15%, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually a lot for the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's down 14%. It's actually the biggest pullback. It was down 15% here. It was down 11% here. It's actually the biggest pullback. I guess, let me go to the daily. I actually think it was bigger than this. How big was this actual pullback from bottom to top? 15%. So we're almost tied with the biggest pullback that we've had since 2022. So it's definitely a big pullback on stocks. I think the SPY, I think the S&P, this is the biggest pullback since 2022. SPY is down 10%. Which like doesn't sound big, but that's actually bigger than that pullback. It's the same as that pullback. That was like, I think that was the banking crisis. The banking crisis dip. That was bigger than the banking crisis dip. Or the same. But yeah, it's the biggest pullback since 2022. Or it's at least tied. So, yeah. I mean, this is what it is, right? We're going to blame like Bitcoin's down because of Trump. I mean, in reality, Bitcoin's down because the S&P is down. You know what I'm saying? Like, the S&P hasn't gone up since December. Bitcoin hasn't gone up since December, right? So we all want to blame, no strategic reserve. Guys, don't listen to the news, man. Just follow the charts. Don't listen to the news. It's just a thing that, dude, the SPY has not gone up since December. So Bitcoin hasn't gone up since December. SPY has been nuking. Bitcoin has been nuking, right? I guarantee you if the SPY was doing this instead, Bitcoin would be up too. right? It's really, don't listen to the news, man. It's even though the news is like long-term bullish for crypto, just look at the charts and don't blame it on news, right? It's not really the news that it's not really the news. If the SPY does this, man, guess what? Bitcoin is also going to do that. It ain't no news. Ramen ain't cheap. It will take your private key. Dude, ramen is horrible for you, man. All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go to the gym. They freaking close at 10. So I gotta go to the gym. Everyone have a great day, guys. Shout out to Crypto Shock. He said nothing has changed. Cycle's intact. Order your Lambos. I agree. 4-year cycle is still the same, right? We're just having a pullback at the moment. It should just be hilarious if Bitcoin tops at Q4 of this year, like it does every single cycle. And everything we've talked about from the lows to the highs, completely pointless. All you had to do was buy a year after the bear, sell 3 years later. Imagine if it was that easy. Anyways, I'm out of here. Peace out, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And stay easy out there. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, a few more weeks of chop. I think that's likely. I don't think we just moon out of here. What I want to see is Bitcoin just holding support above, 73K-ish. Can chop above 73K, hold above the 50-week moving averages. And then once we catch up to the 70-day lag on the global liquidity, where typically Bitcoin bottoms at the same time, 70 days after global liquidity bottoms, that's when I think we get the move up. So I think a few more weeks of just boring, maybe some altcoin bleed. And then I think at the end of March is when we start to see things really start to kick off. All right. So I'm out of here, guys. Peace out. Much love. And I'll probably live stream tomorrow. So I'll probably see you guys tomorrow.